Hey folks, welcome back to another Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark.
And I'm Anna.
And today we're taking a look at the new expansion for the Quest Kids, the Big Bads of Tolk's Cave.
Big Bads is brought to you by Treasure Falls Games. It's for 2 to 5 players, ages 5 and up, and games generally run about 45 minutes.
The Quest Kids is a fantasy-themed board game adventure for children 5 years and up. In the base game, players control up to 4 of the Quest Kids, a brave team of young heroes, as they explore the magical Tolk's Cave.
During their adventure, the team will find treasures, scare away monsters, complete quests, and discover magical items, all while helping their fellow Quest Kids out along the way. The Quest Kid with the most stars at the end of the adventure is victorious.
The new expansion, Big Bads of Tolk's Cave, introduces new Quest Kid heroes, Flint the Dragon, player-specific dice, unique items, story-driven event cards, epic boss battles, and so much more.
Big Bads builds on the fantasy gaming foundation established by the Quest Kids by adding even more dungeon crawler essentials. A Quest Kid's quest is never done.
So this preview is definitely going to be focused on just what's new, this new expansion. If you don't know the base game, go check out so many other great videos and learn more about it. But today we're going to be diving in, seeing what's new. First and foremost, we have new dungeon tiles. We have them all face up here. Obviously, as you explore a dungeon, you're going to not know what's coming next, so these will be face down. And there's all kinds of new monsters, there's all kinds of new items and things that you can acquire, but what's interesting is that now these tiles have some either or type options, so giving those young players a choice of what they can get and what kind of resources they can try to manage in their game. I really like that aspect in this game in general, is that it really does teach kids this basics of going through a dungeon crawl. Now, we have them, like I said, they're all face up here just so we can show off the newness, but there's new monsters and there's new events.
Now, there are 2 types of event cards. You've got the red ones and the green ones. As you search through the dungeon and you turn over your dungeon tile card, it may tell you to either pull up a red event card or a green event card. Now, once you do that, all of the players have to pull over an event card, and these are story-driven.
Yes, story-driven aspects. Every player in turn will go through their cards and they'll be looking for either or options. Now, what's interesting here is that in this new version of the game, you have specific dice, custom dice for each of the characters, and the results that you need to roll are listed on the card. So you may not really have great options with your dice because it doesn't lend to your strengths. So you can ask other players to help you. And that's one of the great things about this game in general, right?
Oh, yes.
Is the fact that it really does foster kids to work together and to share. So if they do share their dice with you, then they get a kid kind card, which does contribute to their total score at the end of the game. But I like the fact, again, that the game continues to offer and foster this sharing aspect for kids. A teamwork for kids, yeah. And then if you fail in these cards, right, you have a failure point. Now, you might lose health, or you might lose ability cards, which are part of the base game. And you'll have to place those cards on
the big bad.
What's interesting here is that at the end of the game, after you've cleared the dungeon, then you go up against the big boss. And any cards that are on the big bad's deck on the edge of the board are going to give advantages and build the boss in strength, giving them more health that you have to deal with at the end.
Okay, once the dungeon has been cleared, now you get to fight the big bad boss. In the prototype, it's only Dazlon, but in the final version of the game, there will be others.
Indeed, and it is the standoff moment. You're going to take the boss's cards, you're going to shuffle them up, place them in the middle of the board, and his health will be determined on the player count and how many cards, how many of these ability cards were placed in the big bad's boss area. So those will also determine his strength to come at you. So you're going to be placing your heroes opposed to him, but your heroes have their own quest kit attack cards as well. His cards, you're basically going to be trying to defend yourself, guard yourself from losing health. Or if you win in those cards, then you might get a Kid Kind card, or you might get another health card, or potentially even treasure.
Yes.
So lots of reasons to dodge his attacks. But again, like the event cards, you have options here. It's an either or. And you can't really get help from others though, can you?
Not when you're defending.
No, so you can spend ability cards though, if you have them left over. And if you spin them, you can get up to 4 dice total to roll against him, trying to get the results you need in order to defend against his attack. So once you successfully defended against his attack, then it's time for the heroes to bring the pain to the monster. So you have your own set of attack cards, and based on player count, again, will determine which cards are in play. Now, you have the option when you flip this over to only have one player attack, which is really only going to do 1 point of damage to the big boss.
Right.
But if you have others, multiple players engage, you can do 2 points, you can do 3, 4, 5 points of damage to the boss, which teaming up is key in this aspect, right? And there's so many possible dice rolls. You're going to be rolling together, trying to bring the pain.
Yes, you almost really have to have help in some aspects, because if it says that you have to have this dice as opposed to this dice, but you only have this dice, you need help. So you really need to combine forces. Again, I like the aspect of the game, teaching the kids to play cooperatively and work together, really adding a lot. But again, your attack cards are really just about doing damage to the boss. And then once you know the boss has been resolved, either the heroes have all lost their health and you're out, or the boss has been defeated. Either way, it doesn't matter really. But the thing here is that you're going to total star points at the end to see which kid in the game had the most epic journey to get there. Was most victorious.
Right, indeed. You're going to be totaling up all the cards, the tiles that you acquired through the game, defeating monsters in the dungeon. You're going to total up all your treasures that you acquired, and even quests and different items and so forth. So it really is a fun aspect, that end, just to see who had that epic quest. But I love this boss battle and how it works, and the kids can really use resources, and they really do a good job in this game teaching that next level of this dungeon crawl and how to manipulate and use your resources. And the thing in these battles not to forget, is that you have items. So don't forget that you have items that can contribute to those dice rolls and the results that you're going to be rolling against. So that's really kind of the newness here in this version of the game. If you want more details about how the base game plays, definitely go check out more videos and check out what they're doing on the campaign page for sure. All right, folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen in this expansion is in prototype form, so keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur.
I really love the artwork on this game. The kids will not be scared by these baddies.
It's super approachable, right?
Exactly. So you could have the youngest age play this game and not be like, oh my gosh, and get really scared. I love that.
Oh yeah, and I think our kids would have loved it at that age, at 5 and up. I wish this game would have been around, but now they've moved well beyond that. But I think the fun, playing this with kids in general would just be a hoot. I think a ton of fun. And I love the miniatures. They're huge, they're big. Everything about the game has that big tactile experience. You're reaching in the bag to get treasures. And I mean, I love the new hero, Flint the Dragon.
He's cute.
He's super cute, super fun, and he has his own set of treasures that you're going to put in the bag. If you're able to pull those from the bag, you get special bonuses for stars at the end of the game.
Right, and everything is just so kid friendly and the right size for kids. You don't have these tiny little pieces that they can't handle. So I really love that.
And the dice are really colorful, giving you the different faces, and there's a really fantastic card for your hero, just explaining what all the dice faces are, so that helps a lot. And there is a dice tower, but that's going to be a Kickstarter exclusive in the early part of the campaign, so keep an eye out if you are interested in that for sure. But in general though, everything else you're seeing is straight up in that expansion of the game. But folks, ultimately, if this looks like something of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it from us. And until next time, we'll see you at the table.